Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another audio commentary. Sorry we're doing one of these this week. Mostly because, one, I have a cold, and two, today is Christmas Eve, and I'm not doing a live stream Christmas Day because it's Wednesday or whatever, you know, the other way around. I'm already messing up because I've got this cold. This commentary was actually requested by David Salgado, I believe I'm pronouncing it right. So thank you, Dave, for giving us a little request to do a commentary on this episode, which is on Christopher the Christmas Tree, which is a Christmas special that I remember fondly as a kid, and I've always wanted to talk about because I don't think anybody really did a review at the time. Obviously, this is the holiday version of my intro, which is kind of rare, and I'm not a fan of how the snow effects looks. It looks less like snow and more like dandruff. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of odd the way I tried my best to get the snow effect. It's hard to do snow effects without finding a green screen piece for it. So yeah, this is just kind of something to get something out here for you guys on this Tuesday on Christmas Eve, so at least you got something to look forward to for the holidays. And yeah, there's a lot going on right now. We've got our Power Rangers review. It's coming in soon, so there's that to look forward to. A lot of people keep asking me who that 18 is, and honestly, I can't quite remember who she is. Sorry, I just coughed in there. Can't remember exactly, but she was really good sport doing that bit. And I do have plans to bring Timber back at some point. I know I say that in every commentary, but at some point I do want to bring her back in terms of episodes. We got plans. So here we are in our little holiday set. I just took my basic setup and just put some holiday stuff around it, and it worked. And I still have that Batman shirt with the candy cane utility belt. If you guys want to see this episode, I'll leave it in the link down below, as well as my top 10 Christmas specials. Okay, that joke, I don't know where that came from. I can't remember, but I just thought, yeah, it's cold enough to be Elsa's S&M dungeon. It was fun to do. I think this was actually the last thing I shot in the episode because we set up our tree normally around December, not early enough when this episode was being made, so. Because the thing is with Christmas specials, they do take a while to do. Like, they take at least a couple months to put together because you want to plan something right in what you want to do. And I definitely at some point want to do more of these. I do want to do another Christmas special. Because there's a couple of movies and stuff I do want to talk about, like Nutcracker Prince, Batman Returns, and so on. So yeah, this episode actually got claimed, not striked, it was claimed by the company that still produces this, surprisingly, even though this is a 30-year-old special. And so I had to go back and re-edit it and put it back on YouTube, so it's more copyright-free, essentially. Oh, and yeah, I've seen that. It's a piece of shit movie. I'm not reviewing that. But yeah, it's just Christopher the Christmas Tree was something I definitely grew up with as a child. It was there. I was always watching it every Christmas on YTV. It's one of my favorite specials, and the reason I reviewed it was I was completely oblivious to it when I did my top 10 specials and completely forgot about it, so I wanted to give it the respect it deserved. And yeah, this was actually from a taped copy off television, probably during the last years that YTV was actually good. Now it's all Disney, and now it's all terrible. You know, this is the kind of shit right there is what I grew up with. And I obviously wanted to make a Spaceballs joke, so I did the fast-forward thing, which was pretty funny. To fast-forward through the footage, which was a first for me, to see how fast my fast-forwarding could go. In fact, never play this again. One thing about clips I've started to realize is, like, I try to not use movie clips, so it's not as obvious that you don't have the watermark there. So, yeah, it's a very good piece of animated holiday stuff. I love that joke with, like, Hidden Hollow. It looks like Sleepy Hollow. I just had to make that reference. But this is something I definitely grew up with and I loved. It was the perfect balance of family friendly, a little bit of sadness, but also a bright, happy ending. Okay, this was obviously, again, we were trying to find our place in this, in the show and what our niche was, so a lot of these cutaway gags to other characters was before we knew exactly what to do with it. So, a lot of these early episodes kind of have that flavor of where the show eventually will go. I don't use those clip kind of shit as much as I used to, but I do want to kind of get back. Okay, I love Tony Cox. Great comedian, and probably one of my favorite Christmas movies, Bad Santa, and he's even in those, like, scary movie knockoffs. I should point out, I fucking hate Kirk Cameron. I absolutely despise the man. I've seen a lot of his films, and some of them are some of the worst I've ever seen, and they're, like, not bad in terms of, like, enjoyably bad or anything. I love that joke. Because you ever wonder what happens with Christmas trees? That's what happens to them. But, the whole thing is, like, the entire, thing with Kirk Cameron is just, he's just a dick, and he's made, like, these terrible movies that are just absolutely disgusting. So, at the time, Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas was coming out, and, obviously, other people have talked about it, so I want to make my pass at it. Yeah, I don't get this guy's problem either. I don't get why he's such a dick, and then, you know, Hootie never hears of him again. You think they would call the cops that his son ran away. You know what's really sad about that joke? I made that joke, and I had never seen The Secret of Nim. I know, it's just because I've seen so many other people talk about it, but I have watched it. It's a good movie. Not my favorite Don Bluth movie, but it is a decent animated film that Don did work on. And my favorite Don Bluth movie was always Land Before Time. You know what? I don't care what people say. I like The Grinch. The Grinch is a good movie. So this part always, like, as a kid, was always kind of the sweet part. This, to me, was the heart of the story, was this little boy and this owl. Now, when I had that clip of him going, it's not the same shit, that clip wasn't available. I looked everywhere for it, so I had to kind of edit it in a way that it made it work still, in context. So this is my biggest problem with the special, the span of time that stretches from, like, only a few seconds. So this is, like, kind of the first big plot hole I had with this episode, and it just made for, like, a lot of, like, confusion and ranting and raving that's always hilarious in these reviews. And it eventually leads to a Doc Brown time paradox joke. So anytime I can use Back to the Future clips, I will. That's kind of, like, anytime I can use my favorite films in terms of clips for jokes, I always will. And this is obviously going for a very riff-based review. I love this. Like, probably one of my favorite Doc moments in Back to the Future. But, yeah, this is very much a riff review. I don't do these often. I mostly stick with the kind of informative reviews, talking about what I enjoy, what I disliked, because I am trying to find my own niche and not just copy other people's formula. But if it's a movie I either want to talk about at length or want to rip into that's a bad movie, then I'll definitely do a riff-style review. Is really the only time I'll do those, because most movies I talk about, I try to be positive. But yeah, this was the heart of the story, were these two. You know, they were the sweetest part. You know, this little baby owl is adopted by this little boy. And, like, this is so sad. Like, look at it, look at that owl's face. That is the saddest thing ever. And this was a Canadian production, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Because everything had, like, all the animation shit looked the same in Canadian Christmas specials. Yeah, another big problem. Send them to an animal shelter. Send them to, like, you know, SPCA. At least he can look after them. You know, any chance I had to make some sort of, like, holiday pun, I would in this special. Yeah, I feel like if they did a live-action version of this, they would get John Goodman. I'm surprised I didn't make any other John Goodman jokes after this. The only thing I could really come up with is a Treebird joke. Because that's so obvious. So, just many of these trees are my friends. Now this bit here I really liked, because I was able to, like, do a bit on Disney completely suing these guys. When I heard this song, I'm like, yeah, Disney's gonna sue someone. Because they own every property imaginable. So it was good to kind of do a cover of Wish Upon a Star. Anytime I can sing, I will. That cease and desist was from the JonTron episode. I just kind of had to Photoshop it a little bit. Yeah, and actually, I think a couple of voice actors I know worked on this special. I think Susan Roman, among a few others, had worked on it. And then, honestly, any chance I can make an inappropriate joke, I will, like that. Like, whoa, you know, he's lifting up his skirt. But the joke you get to at the end with, which leads to the commercial break with the Christmas Critters, is only because, like, Christmas Critters I've been finding is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite South Park Christmas special that they did. So I just had to bring up the whole blood orgy that they were spoofing from Event Horizon, and discuss that, and like not discuss it, but just make a joke about it, because you have all these Christmas critters in one special, and then you have them in another. But yeah, it was fun to just kind of cut to that, and then have me with a shotgun, just mowing down these little animals. And like again, this was going for very nostalgia critic, angry-esque reviews. Again, trying to find my niche. Every time I make a joke like that where I just turn and go, eh, that always gets a laugh from people. So I want to keep doing more of those. But yeah, this is a very disturbing special, but it's hilarious. Just trying to mimic Stan's reaction to that. Yeah, any chance I can use props, I will as well. Just shoot up animals. I do like how like the flash to white goes to a commercial immediately. So this was back when I was trying to do more commercial-based episodes where I knew where to cut to break, but I don't do that much anymore. So yeah, I swear this raccoon is Susan Roman, and this was just a nod to her doing the show The Raccoons. At some point I do want to talk about the second Sailor Moon movie. That is definitely on my list. Maybe that'll be a Christmas special one year. And yeah, and then I discovered how many voices were on this. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, like Scott McNeil, who's like the Mel Blanc of you know, Canada. You got Paul Dobson in there too, who plays one of the greatest anime villains of all time. That was kind of a reference to Cinema Snob when he reviewed Grizzly 2. And he's talking about all the cast members there. He's like, great, this is the second biggest cast I've seen next to Caligula, and nobody's fucking seen it. And this is where it's like, why does every special, Christmas special I see have to get to a depressing, dark state? Like, it's supposed to be Christmas, supposed to be happy. Why does all this shit gotta happen? How does snow catch fire? That's like, holy crap. Oh, I know a lot of people have been complaining about me making prequel jokes, but they're only a step based until I can get ready for the real prequel special. I don't know why I came up with that dark joke of him just choking Hootie. I just thought that was kind of funny. But the audio of, like, the gushing is actually from a film called Rob Roy, where Liam Neeson cuts Tim Roth's arm and he just bleeds out. It's a great sound effect. Catching this was hard. Especially in the wintertime, to get that kind of sunset that matched what was in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, like jokes like that I enjoy. It's funny, I always thought as a kid that you always, like, the chainsaw guy wore a hockey mask, because I didn't know much about Freddy or Leatherface, so I always thought it was just kind of a stereotype, but that's not the case, it's just a construction hat. Yeah, like, it's literally, it's almost like watching somebody you love get killed. It's pretty disturbing. I don't know why, this special, I've realized, is kind of a dark episode. Now, when I make the timber joke, that's because that's the name of my dog. And, you know, and again, anytime I can make a joke about my dog, I'll actually add her. So yeah, I actually would call her in. She did that on cue. It just was too long of a take, so I had to kind of cut it down. Yeah, this is total, like, any chance I can make a everybody gets a platoon joke. I couldn't resist. And then also there's an animation error where, like, one of the animals does pop back in. There's a couple of those. Now, this is the part, actually, where I got claimed, surprisingly, was this whole chase scene, so I had to kind of cut this down for the re-release. So, yeah, the songs are nice in this special. They're nice. They're cute. I mean, for only, like, 20 minutes, it's pretty decent. I don't know why, I really like this chase scene where it's like, okay, I love this joke. Hit by the wall. Yeah. There's a lot of death jokes in this special, because it's just, there were so many opportunities I couldn't just cut one. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to, like, I think the premise for this special was that they did the song first, the country song, and then it became a animated special. Oh, that's probably the darkest joke I've made, is actually show an actual animal getting hit by a car, which I apologize. But yeah, so it started as a song, and then it became a storybook, and then I think it became an animated film, which was this one. And then obviously a shredder joke. You gotta do the wooden shredder joke. Doing that effect's really hard in Pinnacle, because I use Pinnacle for everything. Yeah, it's weird. This is the only time in the movie where, like, all the animals talk to people. The rest of the time they don't talk to people, so it's really kind of odd that everybody's so accepting. Now, I know there's, like, an ending. There's two different endings to this, where it's either the President of the United States or it's the Ambassador of the World, and I think we got the President of the... Yeah, we got the President one here in Canada, but then in the US they got the United Nations one, which is kind of odd. It should be the other way around. It's kind of like calling Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone here in Canada rather than philosophers. So yeah, like, it ends kind of poetically sad where, yeah, Christopher's gonna die, but his pine cones are his reincarnations, essentially. So, and this joke about Brad is only because, like, we went through a lot of film projects together where he would accidentally be constantly filming the ground. And we call it in filmmaking, whenever somebody does that, we call that ground fucking. Because you're constantly just filming the ground, you're not keeping the camera up, which is a real challenge for first-time filmmakers. So whenever you're doing that, it's like, don't do that. Like, keep filming up, don't ground fuck, as we put it. And it's a good special, so I still enjoy it. God, like, I mean, I wish I could have done a little better with some jokes. Yeah, but I did want to point out some animation errors, but it was hard to find any info on this special, on what exactly went on behind the scenes and everything. But it's a nice special. I mean, I'd recommend it. I don't know if it's on DVD. I think it's only on VHS. That's the only release it got. But you can probably find it online. It's a good special. It's worth putting on for the kids for a good half hour. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I know it wasn't much to talk about, but I wanted to get something out for you guys on Christmas Eve. And at least have something to entertain you, even though we don't have a special this year. We've been kind of slacking on that, but I want to get back on that as soon as possible. So, of course, anyway, guys, I won't be doing a live stream Wednesday, so until the next video, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a good holiday season, and I will see you guys later. Take it easy.